welcome to today's vlog. We are on a hike at the minute. It's so pretty right now with all the like fall colors in the trees. I go on hikes most days. I am a hiking enthusiast, which makes me sound like an outdoorsy fitness queen. That is not the case. I'm not like scaling mountains or doing anything crazy. It's just I really like going on walks and like listening to books and stuff. And I live in a really beautiful area. So I try to go every day, usually just like 2 or 3 miles. Occasionally I'll do longer. Yesterday I did a 9-mile hike, which was intense. That's about as crazy as it gets for me. I already dropped my kids off at school, so I'm getting my hike in now. I either go after I drop them off, like right away, or sometimes I'll go in the mornings before they go to school when it's lighter, like in the summer. But it's getting a bit dark in the mornings to do that. So we're squeezing it in now. And I started hiking a couple years ago, kind of just as a way to honestly listen to audiobooks, like get out of the house and listen to books. And it has become a full-blown obsession. And like I said, it really doesn't have a ton to do with like physical activity. It's much more like a mental health thing because it really has made such a difference in my brain. Getting out in the morning, seeing beautiful things, it's almost like it starts my day off with like happiness and specifically gratitude. Like I can't go on a hike and not just feel so grateful for the place that I live in and having a healthy body and having the freedom to squeeze this into my days. So yeah, it's like 95% mental health, 5% physical health. So I have to talk about hiking safety because I always get questions about that when I talk about my hikes. Like, how do I stay safe, feel safe hiking alone? My location is always tracked. My husband always knows where I'm at. I usually tell him where I'm gonna be, when I'll be done, that kind of stuff. I have like a pepper spray thing. It's like a pole one. You can just pull it off and whatever. Never had to use it, thankfully. I only ever have like one AirPod in and it's always in like transparency mode, so I can always like hear everything around me. I am not really like on my phone or anything when I'm out here. This is an exception talking to you guys, but usually I am like very much looking around, aware of my surroundings. I can hear everything, see everything. I often like keep one hand on this, especially like as I'm passing anybody, specifically like an alone person, I'll keep my hand on this. I don't ever hike in the dark, you know, mornings, nights. So obviously anything can happen at any time, but I do take those measures to feel safe personally. Back home and I am just going to get ready for the day before jumping into work stuff. And I'll show you all my like normal makeup stuff that I use while I tell you what I'm going to be doing today. I always start off with eyebrows and I use this like e.l.f. gel stuff. Usually I am like right in the middle of a big project of some sort, whether I am like designing a pattern or working on a tutorial or something like that. And right now I'm kind of just coming off of a big project. The last couple weeks I've been working on this quilted jacket tutorial that was also a sleeve drafting tutorial, learning how to self-draft your own sleeves. And so that took up my brain space and time for the last like literally couple weeks. And I finally finished it last Friday. So I'm kind of have a down day compared to usual. This is my foundation that I use and I am obsessed with it. It's pretty lightweight and I am pretty freckly as well. I haven't had a lot of sun recently, so I don't know if you can see all my freckles. I do have quite a few freckles, especially in the summer. And this foundation I feel like does a good job of like smoothing things out without fully like covering everything. It is definitely not full coverage, which is great. And it's also like pretty dewy and glossy, which I think looks nice. I may be putting makeup artists into a coma right now because I like just kind of wing it with my makeup. But anyways, I have a big list of patterns that I want to do, and I'm not entirely sure what one I want to make next because I don't want to just make a pattern to make a pattern, right? Like I want the patterns that I work on because they take so much time. Like start to finish minimum, a pattern is like 3 months for me, but often much longer. So whatever project I decide to devote my time to is gonna suck up several months of my life at least, and I want to pick them carefully. So a few patterns that are kind of on my mind that I haven't started yet, but things that I've sort of been thinking about doing. I've been wanting to do a bag pattern forever, and the thing about the bags that I've thought of is that I have so many design ideas that I'm having a hard time narrowing down to one that I'm like super excited about. I've even thought about doing a bag pattern where like the base pattern of the bag is fairly simple, but then within the pattern there are a bunch of like versions you can make. There would be instructions for like a quilted version or a puffy version or like a nylon like rec looking version, like sporty elastic carabiner type vibes. So yeah, I'll probably do a bag eventually. I just haven't landed on a design that I love yet. Maybe I just need to start like making samples and I'll land on one eventually. Now I'm doing a little like blush stick situation. Can you see the details there? I've also wanted to forever do overalls because I really love overalls, and it very much goes along with my aversion to hard pants, like pants with buttons and zippers and things like that. I never ever ever wear them because I just find them really uncomfortable, like around my waist. But overalls are kind of a way around that. They're like a sort of structured bottom half, about as structured as I get. And I have made overalls before with the Harleen Dungarees pattern from Merchant and Mills. And I feel like it's a good pattern. Like I like the instructions and it's like a fun thing to make. But I've made 2 pairs of them, and both of them I really didn't like the fit, and it's probably just something I need to adjust on myself. But I feel like I get a really baggy bum with them, which is weird for me, especially because I have a bum definitively, and so for things to be baggy in that area for me is really odd. I'm doing a little bit of like translucent powder stuff to set some of like the shiny areas. But even like store-bought overalls kind of give me a baggy bum. So it's something that I've been interested in seeing if I can make a pattern that is not that way. But I think that would also be a lot of work. Like that would be one that I'd have to be like really passionate about because it wouldn't be like a simple pattern, right? It's like pretty involved. So I've thought about that. I've also thought about doing a trench coat. I have seen a lot of trench coats this season that have me like really excited. The really nice trench coats that I've seen, sort of on the more expensive end, which is justified and fair, you know, if it's like from a good brand and good materials and all that stuff, totally makes sense that it would be expensive. But it makes me think, I wonder if I could make one exactly how I want it, right? Like if I'm spending that much money, I might as well make something that I super love. Okay, so trench coats, I've thought about that. That would be fun. But if I did a trench coat, like even if I'd started one today, I probably wouldn't be like launching it until February or March, and at that point it's like, I don't know, if we're heading into spring and summer, is that too late to launch a trench coat? So maybe I'd start on a trench coat next spring so that it would be ready for the following fall. And I also had the epiphany the other day that I could try making my own hiking pants and hiking shorts, because I have quite a few pairs of those things, hiking pants and hiking shorts. I do like the ones that I have, you know, some more than others, but none of the pairs are perfect in my opinion, like for me, right? There's like certain elements that I like from each one and none of them have it all. And it's literally like, oh, that's my job, is to make my own things that I feel like have it all, right? So it's surprising to me that I've never considered making hiking clothes for myself. I think the thing I would have to figure out if I decided to do that is fabric, because I've never made athleisure type things, and like the traditional sort of stretchy nylonish fabric of that type of clothes isn't something that I've really bought before. So I would have to find good sources for it, and you know, I would want to make sure that in any pattern I made, I was giving people like as many resources as possible to make a successful garment. And so if I were to make hiking pants on my own, I would be like, I don't know where to buy fabric for that. And so I'm guessing that's something that a lot of other people would need help with too. So yeah, I feel like there would be a lot involved in that, but that's something that I am pretty excited about. I also don't know, that's like sort of a selfish project. I don't know how many people who buy my patterns would be interested in that. I mean, I, in the winter, wear my hiking pants all day long, especially if I'm doing like an afternoon or evening hike. I'll just wear my hiking stuff all day and then go on my hike later. So I wear them around the house. They're just like comfy, cozy, stretchy pants that you could also go on a hike in. So yeah, I might do that. This is my mascara that I've used forever. I also always use waterproof. I just feel like it stays on better. And then finally, I've been planning on releasing my kids patterns that I made forever ago that, you know, I used to like make the clothing to sell. I still have the patterns. I would need to digitize them, perfect them, grade them better, you know, tweak them and test them and all that stuff. So I do want to do those. I just don't feel as excited about them. I know I'll get to them eventually. So yeah, it just, at the moment, I feel like I have so many ideas and none of my pattern ideas are ones that I'm so excited about that I want to start right away, which all 4 of my other patterns I've done so far have all been passion projects. I was pedal to the metal, obsessed, like constantly for weeks and months working on these patterns, so excited about them. And I know I'll get there once I decide on my next pattern that I'm gonna do. But at the moment, I'm just not feeling it. And like I said, I don't want to make a pattern just to make a pattern. This is a lip stain from e.l.f. It's like sort of dark purple. It's gonna make my lips look very purple right when I put it on, but then it sort of fades over the next like 5 minutes into just a nice soft berry color, and then it's pretty long lasting for a while, so don't be alarmed. Okay, that is my makeup. Pretty simple, pretty basic. I'm gonna do my hair really quick. We're on day like, gosh, maybe like 5. I only wash my hair like once or twice a week. So I don't think I can just leave it down. Usually I like blow dry it or curl it on day 1 after washing, and then I just let it ride the rest of the days. I don't know, it's not that bad. It's just got weird like waves to it. You know what? I saw a TikTok, I think yesterday, of a really cute low ponytail hair thing. Maybe I'll try that. Let me find it, I'll show you. No, it's cute. Okay, I'm probably gonna mess this up really bad. I'll try it, and if it looks bad, I'll just, I don't know, keep my hair down. But look at this cute topsy tail, pigtail, ponytail thing with like a bandana. And I think I have some bandana things. So let's try this really quick. It could be a disaster. All right, does that look terrible? I'm not going to look until I'm all the way finished. It feels like it worked. Does it look awful? I don't know. Maybe I'll look right now before I put the bandana in. Okay, I think that's fine. Might look like slightly more of a wedding updo than I wanted, but I don't know. We'll see. Okay, I feel like, I don't know. It's not bad. Probably what I'll do, since it's already like up, I'm just gonna leave it in for a little while, like while I go work and stuff. And then when I have to leave the house, I'll reassess if I feel really weird. But the important thing is that it's keeping my hair out of my face and I don't have like big chunks falling forward, which I feel like are the 2 things that bother me while I'm working. So yeah, I feel like it's gonna be fine. Sometimes it's fun to try new things, right? So we're gonna go into my studio to work. Right now it is a disaster because like I said, I just finished a really big tutorial. In fact, my quilted jacket is right here. Look how cute it is. It's reversible. No, it's beautiful. In fact, it will look really cute with this outfit today. I will wear it when I go out. But in the aftermath of making that jacket and filming that tutorial all last week, my studio is a mess. And so the first thing we need to do when we get in there is clean it up. And then I will jump into normal work stuff. So let's go do that. But first, a quick fit check. This sweater is from Madewell. I got it last year, so I don't think they still have it. And then the pants are my Lane Pants pattern, and I did like taper them a bit. Usually they're much more wide leg, but these ones are tapered, which was pretty easy. I'm just wearing my Birkenstocks that I wear like around my house. But when I go out later, I'm thinking of changing them to these Keens that I got that I really like. They just don't feel like cozy house shoes. So that's what we're working with. guess it could be worse, but there's a literal piano in here, and I'm not kidding about that. That really was out for a reason. Our house is super small, and I like accompany a choir, and so I need to practice for that sometimes. And so I borrowed this keyboard, but there's nowhere to put it. Our house literally does not have a spare place, so I have to keep it up like in the rafters here. So need to put that away amongst everything else. So let's clean up in here. Spent a couple hours going through all of my emails, Etsy messages, comments, DMs across all the different platforms. So it's always surprising how long it takes to go through all of that stuff. And then I also have these like reports that I fill out every Monday. Even though it's just me, I'm not like reporting to anybody, I still like to track certain things. I'm a spreadsheet girly. So I have a report for my weekly pattern sales to like see which patterns are doing better for the week. I have a revenue report that like tracks all of the different streams of revenue that I have. And then I have a social report that tracks social stuff, you know, engagement and reach and all that stuff. So not only is it just fun for me to like make spreadsheets and do all that stuff, but it also helps me kind of tweak how I operate and like switch up content depending on what you guys are getting out of it, and you know, dropping things that are not helpful for anybody. I do find it extremely helpful, and I get so excited. Like, people talk about the Sunday scaries, right? But I get like, as I'm falling asleep on Sunday night, I get so excited because I'm like, the data's gonna be in. I can do my Monday reports. And I'm also like sort of sad that it is just me, that I literally have nobody to show this to. I've asked my husband before, can I please show you? Can I please show you my reports? Let me show you my SWOT analysis, please. But yeah, I operate on more than just vibes, although vibes are great as well. Okay, so I'm actually so mad because I planned to this afternoon go to this really cute yarn store that's in my city because I have been on a crochet journey. Here, I'll show you these like very primitive little coasters that I use. I've been learning to crochet and it's been really fun, and I bought a bunch of like cheap yarn from Joanne when I was starting out. I've been using that yarn and I still have lots of that left, and I'll use it for other things as well. But I've made enough things at this point where I'm ready to make like real projects that I care a lot about. I really want to make a sweater because it's sweater season and I wear a lot of sweaters, and so I'm excited to make a crochet sweater. But I feel like the cheapish yarn I got at Joanne, it would be fine probably, but I really want to put a lot of time and effort into it, get nice yarn. So I was planning to go to the yarn store today and get some new yarn, but I just looked it up on Google Maps to make sure I knew where I was going, and it's closed today. They're closed on Mondays, which that's fair if that's how the business wants to operate. But selfishly, I'm a little bit sad they're not open on like a normal day of the week, you know? So I'll probably go tomorrow. I don't know if I'll have time. Anyway, so I can't go to the yarn store and I'm really sad. But in cleaning, I remembered, do you see this box over here? I finally got a projector. If you're unfamiliar, you can use a projector for sewing, like for cutting out your patterns. So I finally did a little research, got a projector. It came last week, but like I said, I was in the middle of my quilted jacket tutorial and I just did not have time to open it or get it out. So I was like, I'll open it later. So we could open that today and that's probably what we'll end up doing. But I also remembered that my house completely is out of groceries. Like my fridge is empty. This morning when my kids went to school, they were like looking for snacks to grab on their way out the door. And they were like, Mom, we don't have any food. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. So it feels like a moral obligation to go to the store so that my children don't go hungry. Also, I wasn't planning on cooking today because I mostly hate cooking, but since I'm not going to the yarn store, I might have to make bread to make myself feel better. I am going to quickly go throw together some dough, and while that's rising, I will go get some groceries, and then when that is all done, it'll be time to pick my children up from school, and then when they're home I can come back here and open my projector. Like I said, this is a pretty down day for me. I obviously haven't gotten like a ton of like super productive work done, but I really needed it. I'm still sort of in a sewing tutorial editing hangover, so a chill day is exactly what I needed. Okay, let's go make some bread. The bread was supposed to make me feel better, but I'm actually out of yeast, so I'm just gonna have to put this together when I get back. The dry ingredients will keep for what, like an hour till I'm back, so we'll put it together then. You know what I mean. My kids are picked up from school and the bread is rising, so I'm going to open my projector and I'm kind of scared. I'm in this Projector for Sewing Facebook group. I'll link it. So I've been reading through all of like their resources and information, and hopefully I can pretty simply put this together. So we're gonna find out. I feel like I'm cutting a baby out of its mother's womb. I researched a smidge and also went off the advice of a couple friends I have who have projectors for sewing. I got this one from a guy on eBay who again was recommended to me by a friend. And from my understanding, like a big part of what he does is refurbishing projectors, and he seemingly sells them largely to people who sew. So his whole like eBay is just different projectors. I actually don't know how much this would be new, but when I was searching up ultra short throw projectors, like you just Google that or throw it into Amazon, all the ones that were coming up were like $1,000 or $2,000. And this one I think was like $170, which is obviously much better. So we're about to find out if it works. Okay, something's blinking. Wow, there's so many plugs in here. This looks like a spaceship. Oh, do I need to turn, let me turn the light off. Oh, okay, it is projecting something. I want to flip the display around. I actually don't know if that's possible. Update, and I apologize that we're in the dark here, but I've learned that you cannot rotate it into like portrait mode. Like I can't have it over at that end of my table. It has to be landscape, which is totally fine. So I've just pulled my ironing board up and projecting it landscape, and I feel like that's gonna be fine, except for that this is kind of wiggly. So we'll see see if that's an issue. We'll see. Okay, let's go through the rest of the instructions and see if I can get a pattern pulled up here. We're getting down to dinner time, so I need to hurry and figure this out before I have to go make some soup. Wait, this is so cool. Okay, there's like some bowing happening. Like the corners matched up, but there's like some curving happening. If the projector lines look curved, your mat or surface below the mat may not be flat. What? This is an extremely flat surface. Or so I thought. Yeah, I'll mess around with that later. I am just gonna pretend like it's perfect and go forward with projecting something and we'll see. Here we go. So I'll turn off all the layers. This is so cool. Whoa, and you can invert the colors. So if you're cutting on a fabric where it's hard to see the lines, it like changes the colors. This is so cool. Oh my gosh, I love this. So I know there's like some creases on my fabric, but you can see like the lines of the pattern, like that's where you'd cut, right? And then there's the grid lines that are just like on the projector. So you don't have to have paper pattern pieces at all. It's all just projected. Obviously, I need to fix the grid issue. I'm not 100% sure if it's the iron that's not flat or my table. I have a really hard time believing my table's not flat. I guess it could be my floor. I'll play around with it. I'm sure once I get it, it'll be like easy peasy, and then I'll be a projector wizard. So stay tuned, but I'm so excited about this. This feels like Christmas. This feels like when I got my serger. I immediately had a sense of like, oh, I've leveled up. All right, I am gonna put all this away and then I'm going to go make some soup. But it was lovely spending the day with you guys. I'm sure next time there will be more actual sewing or at least crocheting. I planned to crochet today and talk to you guys about like the patterns I was gonna do and stuff, but it wasn't to be. Hopefully I can go to the yarn store tomorrow. Or maybe next time we do one of these, I'll span it over like a week so we can just do the highlights of the crafty things. But it was nice to have a chill day, time to just catch up on things and not like running around sewing like a chicken with my head cut off.